Hello, hello! My name is Kallista, and welcome back to Mass Effect A Legendary Edition. In the last episode, we were speaking with Rex and Ashley. We learned a little bit more about why Ashley is the way she is when it comes to other species. Now, I actually ended up doing something after I finished the last episode. I put in a save, and then I reloaded an earlier save because I wanted to see the different ways that conversation could go. Mainly it was just two. That one line about, oh, you're out of line, versus why do you feel this way about aliens? Because I ummed and ahed over that, and I am so glad I did. I am so glad I did, because like I thought, you're out of line straight up ends the conversation. Shepard has a go at Ashley, basically saying, do you always slag off your commanding officer's commands? Chief, or whatever her rank is, and Ashley salutes her. No, ma'am, I'm sorry, ma'am, it won't happen again, ma'am. And then the conversation ends. So I am very glad that I talked myself into picking why do you feel this way about aliens. And then the other one I wanted to see was, what was the difference between I understand the way you feel and you've got to work with aliens? I wasn't interested in shut up because Naomi just wouldn't have picked that, but I was interested to see what the difference was between the Paragon option and the neutral option. If you remember, the neutral option was, I understand how you feel, Ashley, but this is what was it? Unilateral operation, something like that. You've got to work with aliens. So I picked the Paragon option, and it was literally the exact same one as the neutral. They were the exact same line. Now that does confuse me, because it's happened a couple of times where I've kind of been umming and ahhing, oh, which one do I want to go for? And then someone in the comments will jump in and say they actually all said the same thing. I don't understand why the game would do that, why it would give you the illusion of choice, but all three options or two of the options are actually the exact same thing. Just have Shepard say the line. Don't give me the illusion of choice when there is none. Just have Shepard say the line. I presume just shut up would have been different. I don't know, I didn't check that one because I just wasn't interested in it. Still, I'm very glad. I am very glad that I talked myself into picking why do you feel that way about aliens. Very glad. And last, but by no means least, Tali.
Oh, hello, Shepard.
Oh. What? Don't be nasty. Yeah, you sound rather upset.
Are you okay?
I don't know. Your ship is amazing, and your crew's been really great to me, especially your chief engineer. But I just sort of feel out of place. The Normandy runs so smooth, it feels like we're not even moving. And the engines are so quiet. How do you sleep at night?
I mean, if you've grown up in a place where it's constantly really loud, then yeah, you would find it difficult to sleep. I mean, presumably, if the engines are silent on Tali's ship, then that means there's a problem. That means the engines have gone off. And everyone would be scrambling to make them work again.
The silence wakes you up?
Back on the flotilla, the last thing you want to hear is silence. It means an engine's died or an air filter shut down. I guess you don't have to worry about that here. But old habits die hard. But it's more than just the silence. This ship feels so empty. It's like half the crew is missing. Back home, I couldn't wait to go on my pilgrimage. I couldn't wait to get away from the crowds. Now that I'm out here, I kind of miss them.
Oh. Yeah, you're homesick, darling.
Sometimes we don't appreciate what we have till it's gone.
That's true. I'm starting to wonder if that's what the pilgrimage is really about. It's given me a whole new perspective on my people and our culture. You know, there's always a few who go on their pilgrimages and never return. I always assumed something bad happened to them. But maybe they just wanted a different life.
Is that something you'd want? Are you planning on not returning?
You do plan to return to the migrant fleet, right?
I could never abandon my people, Shepard. I will go back eventually, but we have to stop Saren first. Otherwise, I might not have a home to go back to.
Fair. Very fair. And we've already asked all of these. Okay, goodbye.
I should go.
See you later.
I reckon Naomi probably had issues with the silence at first. Bearing in mind that she grew up in the slums. You know, that will have been a very hectic, area. There will have constantly been, cars going by, potentially guns going off, things of that nature. She probably would have... Let's try that again. She probably would have been rather freaked out by the silence, but it's something that she's gotten used to over the years. She realizes, okay, I'm in a much calmer environment now. But yeah, I do think Naomi gets where Tali is coming from. Going from someplace really loud and hectic to someplace calm and quiet, it can be an adjustment. And again, I doubt this guy's gonna have anything new, but just to check.
Something I can do for you, Commander.
Okay, no, good stuff.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
You never know. Him or Presley might have a mission at some point in the future. You never know. Okay, back to the galaxy map. It's time to make a start on some side questing. Although, you know what? Very, very quickly, let me just go over Naomi's thoughts on everyone. I think for the most part, she's getting along with everyone. I think she's definitely getting along with Liara the best. I think she was rather surprised with how much she had in common with Liara. How do I put this? When she first met Liara, it wasn't so much that she had a negative opinion of her or anything. It was more so the idea of like, oh, you sound quite well spoken and you're an archaeologist. Let's be brutally honest here. Children who come from impoverished areas don't grow up to become archaeologists. They simply don't, unless they get a really lucky break somewhere and they manage to get a scholarship to a decent university. Unless that happens, it simply doesn't occur. And I think she probably thought like, oh, this girl's probably never struggled in her life. She's probably grown up rather rich, rather privileged. She and I will have absolutely nothing in common. And yet, there she was. Hey, I've been looked down my entire life for being a pureblood, and I never knew who my father, other mother, whatever you want to call it, I've never known who they were, and that's always been, this kind of point of contention for me. I've been looked down upon it. I've been looked down because of it. And Naomi was like, oh shit, I get that. We actually have stuff in common. Oh, so I do think out of everyone, she really likes Liara. She's like, we have stuff in common. I think you're a nice person. You seem rather adorable, I'm not gonna lie. Just like, oh, a joke. Like, that was really sweet. That was very fucking sweet. But, out of everyone, she's like, Liara, I like you the most. Then probably Kaiden, although again, she is kind of like, you have this crush on me and you've misinterpreted what I said because I didn't have the option to shut you down. Why is that not an option? Why would the game not give me that? I'm so annoyed, but oh well. Probably after that, Kaiden. Rex, again, she's like, for the most part, she's getting along with people. She's getting along with Tali, even though her viewpoint of like, oh, the Geth are the villains of my people's story, the Quarians did nothing wrong, we were completely innocent in all of this, all we did was make slaves, what's so bad about that? Like, she disagrees with that, but she also does have some things that she can connect to her about, like, oh yes, silence at first can be worrisome, and, oh, you seem very young. I think that Naomi kind of wants to take a big sister approach to Tali. You've lived this very sheltered life, and you know, you could potentially get hurt. You can clearly take care of yourself, but if you're not careful, you could wind up getting hurt. I think Naomi views Tali in the same way that her friend Skylar viewed Naomi. You know, Skylar saw Naomi, was like, okay, this kid is tough, but they could end up getting hurt. I need to be there to look out for them. And Naomi is so thankful that she was. So I think Naomi is looking at Tali being like, I can be your Skylar. I can be that for you. So, you know, I'm going to try with her. Ashley is at the bottom. Ashley is at the bottom of the list. It's clear that her racism comes from a place of ignorance and, you know, family history. And I think that, and I do think Naomi also thinks this, that the more she interacts with other species, it is likely that that racism will die down. You know, that the fact that she's been groundside, that she's kind of isolated herself from the galaxy, that probably plays into her racism a lot. But she still is being xenophobic. And she's being rude. Like, when she was saying, like, oh, do you want me to go ask Liara about her sex life? Like, what? Liara hasn't done anything to you, love. Liara hasn't done anything, and it's very clear that Liara is sheltered. That's not teasing, that's picking on someone. If Liara could give as good as she gets, then you know what, fair, but it's very clear that she can't. So at that stage, you'd just be bullying her, like, what the fuck? Like, I'm trying with Ashley. I'm trying, and Naomi's trying. But she still just kind of seems like she has a shitty personality. I think there's probably gold buried under all of that muck, but she does still ultimately have a shitty personality. Okay, I've read all this before. Now that you know what, time to have a bit of an explore. I'm gonna, oh, hello. Metallic asteroid. A metal-rich asteroid, radius 127 kilometers. Heavy metal surveyed. Scans of this large asteroid field have revealed several deposits of platinum. I still have no idea what this is for, but go on. Give me the platinum, why not? Yeah, I'm thinking, because I looked at a lot of planets, but I wasn't able to read any of their descriptions, so I think I'm just gonna hang around this cluster for a wee while and just, you know, see what I missed. So this is Phaistos, perhaps? Phaistos is a small terrestrial with a trace atmosphere of carbon dioxide and xenon. The surface is scorching hot and mainly composed of sulfur and various silicates. There is little of interest on this desolate world. Orbital period, 0.3 Earth years. Radius, 4,238 kilometers. Day length, 57.2 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure, 0.27 Earth atmosphere. Surface temperature, 551 Celsius. Surface gravity, 0.63 G. You. Armeni. Armeni is a terrestrial world with an unusually thin atmosphere of krypton and xenon. Its surface is composed of silica with deposits of carbonaceous materials, I think. The Initius flyby probe of Armeni detected multiple areas at the equator with oddly regular surface protrusions. Closer investigation revealed these as millions of elaborate crypts a few meters below the surface, left by a long-extinct spacefaring species called the Zeoth, maybe? Many human universities wish to perform archaeological excavations. Council law holds grave sites as sacrosanct, however, and the matter has been tied up in a court for a decade. Orbital period, 151.3 Earth years. Radius, 6,077 kilometers. Day length, 57.8 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure, 0.18 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature, negative 168 Celsius. Surface gravity, 0.8 G. I'm so nervous about my reading now. I know that probably sounds dumb, but it's true. After that one recording session that I had to scrap, like I said, it was just me reading off the planetary descriptions, but it was so bad. It was, like, legit. For example, let's say I was trying to say the surface gravity of Mars is beneath Earth's, something like that. I was instead coming out with the service of Marsh gravity is bequeath Earth's. Like, every other word was incorrect, and I was like, this is a mess. This is a mess, and I don't know why this is happening. Arcanus. A small hydrogen-helium gas giant, Arcanus has been developed as a full-featured, if modest, stopover for ships, hauling refined materials from Therum. In addition to a powerful magnetic field to dump drive charge, Arcanus has a largely automated infrastructure of helium-3 refining and deuterium mining on its many water-ice moons. Orbital period, 470.2 Earth years. Radius, 14,549 kilometers. Day length, 16.2 Earth hours. And let's survey it. Gas deposit surveyed. Scans of this gas giant have detected a large concentration of nitrogen. Thank you kindly. And you. Zakros. Zakros is a terrestrial world with a nitrogen-methane atmosphere containing trace amounts of hydrocarbons. Its frigid surface is mainly composed of water ice and hydrocarbon slush. Most of the surface is not solid enough to support the full weight of a landed ship. If approach is necessary, use shuttles or keep the ship's Mass Effect envelope up. Orbital period, 33.9 Earth years. Radius, 4,572 kilometers. Day length, 45.6 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure, 0.40 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature, negative 71 Celsius, and surface gravity, 0.4 G. Okay. Now we actually have a mission on Sparta, however, again, part of me is like, I want to see what I missed here. Let's go to this one first, though. We'll do the mission. I won't forget to look at the other places.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Commander Shepard, my name is Nasana Dantius. I have a job for you. I can't say any more in an unsecured communication. If you're interested in hearing my offer, meet me on the Citadel so we can talk in person. I'll be waiting in the Diplomat's Lounge on the Presidium.
Okay. Asteroid cluster. A collection of small siliceous, maybe, asteroids, loosely bound together by gravity. Radius 12 kilometers. Prothean data disk recovered. While scanning the asteroid field in the Sparta system, you found signs of habitation. A recon team was sent to investigate one of the larger asteroids. The rock had a small functioning biodome, but no sign of anyone still living there. There was, however, a data console with an intact Prothean data disk inside. Ooh. Again, I'm like, I wish I knew what these are for. Then again, it's been a while since I actually checked, you know, the mission logs and all of that. Maybe they're actually popping up there. Not seeing anything. Okay, yeah, good stuff. Alsages. Small, distant Alsages is a small terrestrial with a trace atmosphere of methane and argon. The surface is composed of water ice and calcium, with occasional deposits of light metals. During the Alliance's pirate suppression campaign in the 2160s, the Batarian LE1 Ranpara, perhaps, was caught with his frigate Tuneron grounded on Alsages for drive discharge. When challenged by the cruiser all of these words! Hyderabad, Ranpara refused to surrender. The Tuneron was destroyed attempting to take off. The debris is strewn across the southern hemisphere. Orbital period 73.8 Earth years. Radius 4,926 kilometers. Day length 23.3 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 0.00 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature negative 193 Celsius. Surface gravity 0.7 G. Rare element surveyed. Scans from orbit have detected a small deposit of plutonium. Thank you kindly. And you? Ontamelka. Ontamelka is a large hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of chlorine and sulfur in the atmosphere. Its massive gravity well tugs many asteroids from the outer belt inwards, past the orbit of Altea and Edolus, and eventually settle into the inner belt. Ontamelka's orbit is congested with hundreds of captured moons. Most last only a few thousand years before being ejected, dragged down into the atmosphere, or ripped apart by tidal forces and added to the gas giant's immense rings. Attempting to navigate this chaotic environment is hazardous at best. Ships without military-grade kinetic barriers are likely to suffer catastrophic impacts. Orbital period 39.1 Earth years. Radius 72,492 kilometers. Day length 17.7 Earth hours. Gas deposit surveyed. Scans from orbit have detected a large concentration of hydrogen. Thank you. Yeah, I'll get to you in a minute. Altea. Altea is an unusually large terrestrial world with a trace atmosphere of methane and ammonia. The surface is frozen and mainly composed of sandstone and other sedimentary rocks with deposits of iron and chlorides. Judging by the sedimentary composition of the crust, it appears that Altea once possessed an atmosphere thick enough to support some form of liquid. What cataclysm stripped the atmosphere and left the planet to freeze is not currently known. Orbital period 18.1 Earth years. Radius 11,190 kilometers. Day length 47.2 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 0.20 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature negative 136 What is Celsius? Celsius. Surface gravity 1.7 G. How would you pronounce that? Tremanre? Tremanre, I like that. Tremanre is a dwarf planet composed of light magnesium silicates with deposits of aluminum. Its surface is covered by wide swaths of ancient dark basaltic lava, possibly indicating the world was created through an impact with some other body in the system. Tremanre's magnetic field is non-existent. This makes it impossible for ships to dump drive charge from orbit. That said, Tremanre's minuscule gravity allows even cruiser-sized vessels to land safely for direct grounding. Orbital period 1.0 Earth years. Radius 1,528 kilometers. Day length 1.0 Earth years. Atmospheric pressure 0.00 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature 55 Celsius. Surface gravity 0.1 G. And now, who are you, Edolus?
Commander, I'm picking up a signal from the planet's surface. It looks like an automated distress beacon.
Okie doke. Edolus is a terrestrial planet with an atmosphere of carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Edolus's surface is covered by wide deserts of silicate sand with only a few areas of igneous rock highlands to break the abrasive, dust-choked wind. Edolus's orbit is congested with debris thrown inwards by the gravity of the gas giant Ontamelka. Due to a high rate of meteor impacts, exploration is highly dangerous. Oh god. Orbital period 2.7 Earth years. Radius 5,729 kilometers. Day length 50.3 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 0.8 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature -1 Celsius. Surface gravity 0.87 G. Okay, who do we want to take? What am I hearing? Let's not question it. No. You. I feel like that could be a good team. Okay, so we're actually hearing meteors. Okay. So we have the distress signal, an anomaly, and some debris. Okay, now, here's the thing. I'm looking at my timer. I only have about 4 minutes left. Oh my god. How many points? Oh dear lord. Okay. You know what, let's get that up to full. Let's see, so that unlocks lift, that unlocks singularity. Okay, so that. Get some lift up in here. Okay, there we go. I'm happy with that. I think that looks decent. And Garrus, buddy. Be okay, that would be electronics. However, let's get you some more firepower. Also, let's upgrade that to full. Let's get some tactical armor. What does damping do? And then we'll put 2 points into that. There we go. There we go. And some codex entries to finish off the session. Okay, nothing there. Yeah, we've read that. Okie doke. Wait, have we... Oh, I can't remember which ones I've read and which ones I haven't. Obviously, I've not read any of these, but, you know what? Just in case we haven't, I'll read it again. Asari culture. Because of their long lifespans, Asari tend to have a long view, not common in other races. When they encounter a new species or situation, the Asari are more comfortable with an extended period of passive observation and study than immediate action. They are unfazed that some of their investments or decisions may not pay off for decades or centuries. Matriarchs can seem to make incomprehensible decisions, but their insight is evident when their carefully laid plans come to fruition. In interstellar relations, this long view manifests in an unspoken policy of centricism. The Asari instinctively seek to maintain stable balances of economic, political, and military power. Traditionally, Asari spread their influence through cultural domination and intellectual superiority. They invite new species of advanced development to join the galactic community, knowing that their ideals and beliefs will inevitably influence the existing culture. Asari government. The Asari came late to the concept of world government. For centuries, their homeworld of Thessia was dotted with loose confederacies of great republican cities. The closest earthly equivalent would be the ancient Mediterranean city-states. Since the Asari culture values consensus and accommodation, there was little impetus to form larger principalities. Rather than hoard resources, the Asari bartered freely. Rather than attack one another over differing philosophies, they sought to understand one another. Only in the information age did the city-states grow close. Communication over internet evolved into an electronic democracy. Asari have no politicians or elections, but a freewheeling, all-inclusive legislature that citizens can participate in at will. Policy debates take place at all hours of the day, in official chat rooms, there goes my timer, in official chat rooms and forums moderated by specially programmed virtual intelligences. All aspects of policy are open to plebiscite, I haven't encountered this word before. Plebiscite? Plebiscite, maybe? All aspects of policy are open to plebiscite at any time. In any given debate, the Asari tend to lend the most credence to the opinions of any matriarchs present, nearly always deferring to the experience of these millennia-old wise women. Achieving consensus through public debate may take too long in a crisis. In cases where prompt, decisive action is required, the Asari defer to the wisdom of local matriarchs. Taurians. Culture. While Taurians are individuals with personal desires, their instinct is to equate the self with the group and set aside personal I'ma take a sip. 1 second. Ooh, that's better. That's better. Let's try that again. While Taurians are individuals with personal desires, their instinct is to equate the self with the group and set aside personal desires for the good of all. Taurians are taught to have a strong sense of personal accountability, the Taurian honor that other races find so remarkable. Taurians are taught to own every decision they make, good or ill. The worst sin they can make in the eyes of their people is to lie about their own actions. Taurians who murder will try to get away with it, but if directly questioned, most will confess the crime. Taurians have oh my god, I'm going. My ability to speak is going. I think it's because I'm hungry. I haven't eaten at all today. And I'm currently recording this at 4:45. I need to take better care of myself. Okay. You know what, I'm gonna go from here. Taurians who murder will try to get away with it, but if directly questioned, most will confess the crime. Taurians have a strong inclination towards public service and self-sacrifice, so they tend to be poor entrepreneurs. To compensate, they accepted the mercantile Volus as a client race, offering protection in exchange for their fiscal expertise. The Taurian military is the center of their society. It is not just an armed force, it is an all-encompassing public works organization. The military police are also the civic police. The fire brigades serve the civilian population as well as military facilities. The Corps of Engineers builds and maintains spaceports, schools, water purification plants, and power stations. The Merchant Marine ensures that all worlds get needed resources. Alrighty then. And I am going to bring this episode to a close here. I'm going to go eat something. I need food. In the next one, we explore this planet and hope we don't get hit by meteors. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Kallista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.